If you're wondering if Curaçao is an affordable travel destination, then look no further than this video. We recently visited this colorful Dutch Caribbean island for 4 nights and tracked every single expense that we incurred. So today I'm sharing everything we spent, from flights and hotels to activities and food and everything in between. Now, bear in mind as we go through this video that we traveled as a couple, so I'll make sure to list both our total costs and our per person costs as well. All right, first of all, let's talk about our flights. And we originally booked this trip to Curaçao specifically because we came across a good flight deal. Now, to find good deals on flights, I actually have a paid subscription to Going, and Going does offer both free and paid subscriptions. So if you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave our affiliate link down below, and I definitely recommend them. So these flights were through American Airlines, and we flew Nashville to Curaçao with a layover in Miami both ways. And our total round trip flight tickets for 2 people was $1,250.74, which breaks down to $625.37 per person. Of course, your flights are going to vary based on your departure city, but I think $600 round trip per person is a really good target price for a deal, though I have seen rates as low as $300 per person round trip. All right, next up is our hotels. Now, Curaçao is a destination where I highly recommend staying in a boutique hotel or an Airbnb and getting a car and exploring the island. Curaçao definitely has beach resorts and a couple of all-inclusives as well, but those are really pricey, and I think the value in Curaçao is getting out and exploring the island. So we split our 4-night stay into 2 nights at 2 separate boutique hotels. Both of these were located in the colorful Peter My district, which is a very walkable area and centrally located for exploring the island. And the boutique hotels in this area were incredibly affordable. So I think hotel costs are an area where you can really save some money on your trip to Curaçao. Now, the first hotel we stayed at for 2 nights is the Boho Bohemian Boutique Hotel, which is pretty Instagram famous. And we stayed in an upgraded room, the comfort room with balcony. And we had access to a really cute shared common area with a jacuzzi and grills. And that cost us $174.14 per night, or $348.28 for our 2-night stay. For our next day, we headed to the ultra colorful Wynwood Boutique Hotel and stayed in a deluxe king room, which walked out straight onto the streets of Peter My. And we also had access to a shared courtyard here as well, which featured a plunge pool. And this hotel only cost $100.05 a night, or $200.10 for our 2-night stay. Grand total, that puts our accommodation costs at $548.38, which is $274.19 per person for our 4-night stay. All right, moving on to our transportation costs. Like I said, I really feel like Curaçao is the type of destination where you want to rent a car and go beach hopping and explore all the different sites across the island. So we did rent a car for the duration of our stay. Now, Curaçao does have a number of big international car rental brands, so we ended up going with Budget Car Rental, which was located at the international airport. We picked the entry-level basic car, which cost $67.42 a day, and for our stay that totaled $269.70, or $134.85 per person. Now, something important to note is that a lot of the car rental companies in Curaçao charge really high security deposit holds. Now, for us at Budget, they actually held a $500 security deposit off our credit cards, and they did require you to have a credit card and would not accept a debit card for the hold. Make sure whoever's renting the car has a valid credit card with enough available credit for that unexpected security deposit. And for gas, we did do a fair bit of driving back and forth across the island and ended up spending right around $50 on gas, or $25 a person. Before the next category, if you are finding this video helpful, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button. It really helps our small channel, and we've got lots more Curaçao and tropical destination videos for you. Food and drink. Now, this is where we spent the most money. Now, we love a good meal and we like to get some cocktails with our dinner. And honestly, while we were in Curaçao, we were primarily eating at tourist restaurants, which are definitely a lot pricier than local options. During our stay, we went out for 4 breakfast/brunches, as well as 3 dinners. And at each of those meals, we definitely treated ourselves. You could definitely lower your costs by getting groceries, eating at local restaurants, or skipping the fancy dinners, but here's what we did. So we had a lunch at the Playa Forte restaurant, which is known for its cliff jumping right outside the restaurant. And there we got 2 pretty big meals as well as several cocktails, and that came in at $77.92. We also had breakfast at Bliss the Berry, which is located at Mambo Beach. We had some coffees and breakfast for $48.38. We also had a really good brunch at La Boheme, including some coffees and some brunch food, and that was $52.63. We also went to a restaurant that's located at a working farm, Hofi Cascora. That was a really cool brunch experience, and it cost us $51.62. We had one more upscale dinner at the Governor de Rouville, right in front of the Queen Emma Bridge. Drinks and dinner for 2 cost us $91.42. And then we dined at Zanzibar, which is a more casual beachfront bar and restaurant in the Gentile area. For drinks and pizza, it cost us $68.15. And then for one night, we really splurged and had an ultra romantic dinner at Fort Nassau. And we went all out. We had multiple cocktails and did a chef's menu for 2. And that came in at $201.14. And one tip is to check your bill carefully, because a lot of times the service charge/tip is already built into the price. Now, for a few of our other food and drink costs during our stay, we did do a grocery run when we first arrived and picked up steak and veggies to grill out at our first hotel, as well as some drinks, snacks, some beer and wine. And that was $82.45. We also had a couple of cocktails and waters from a bar at Mambo Beach, and that cost us $33. And of course, while traveling at the airport, we bought coffees, waters, snacks, and a lunch and a dinner during our layovers. And that added up to $135.31, thanks to airport prices being so high. So in total, between all those restaurants, groceries, food and drink while traveling and at the beach, we spent a whopping $811.17, which is $405.58 per person. So most of the activities we did on this trip involved wandering around and sightseeing, which is completely free, and we did not do any paid excursions. Now, many of the beaches on Curacao do either make you pay a small entry fee or will charge you to rent the beach chairs, and that's pretty much where our miscellaneous expenses are coming from. We went to Mambo Beach, and that was $15 for entry fee and chair rental for the 2 of us. We also went to Groti Nip, which is a free beach, but we did pay $15 to rent 2 chairs. We also went to Casabao Beach and paid $6 for the entrance fee. Now, they do have chair rental there, but we had limited time, so we just threw a blanket on the ground. And then we left a $5 tip for a housekeeper that we saw working really hard during our stay at Boho Bohemian. Those miscellaneous costs come to $41 total, or $20.50 per person. All right, and here's our grand total for how much we spent for 4 nights in Curaçao as a couple, bringing our total vacation costs to $2,971 for 2 people, which is $1,485.50 per person. So overall, flights were definitely our biggest expense, even though I think we got a pretty good deal on those. And of course, we kind of overdid it in the food department, but I was really pleasantly surprised by how inexpensive the boutique hotels were and by how much sightseeing you could do for free or for minimal costs. All right, so we'd love to hear from you in the comments, whether you've been to Curaçao, know how much you spent, or you just have any general thoughts or reactions on our spending. And don't forget to hit subscribe and follow along on all of our tropical travel adventures.